Alright, welcome back guys, or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm your host Vision, here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my trailer breakdown for the 100 Season 5 trailer that just dropped this past Wednesday. I'm a huge fan of the 100, so if that's something you're interested in, want to know my thoughts about, keep up to date with news, hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell icon, that way you don't be able to miss any future videos having to do with the 100. Also, I want to warn you, this might be a two-parter video, so definitely stay tuned if you want to see the second part of this video if it ends up being two-part video. But enough rambling, let's get into this, and let's start off right where at the beginning. So we start off this trailer with the widescreen shot of Clark trekking through what's left of the world after Prime Fire at the end of Season 4. And I love these scenes, especially the ones with her trekking through the desert and the death wave behind her. And then you got the rover on the cliffside there, and it's just all desolate, post-apocalyptic. I love that. And then you get finally to Clark, and over these scenes, you have her on the radio trying to contact Bellamy, saying how she doesn't regret him leaving her behind, and she hopes that he doesn't feel sorry. And then we get these great scenes of Polis and Arcadia from the aftermath of Prime Fire. And in this, she also mentions how she tried to dig out the bunker and how they lost contact there, probably due to rubble coming down and just blocking the signal, most likely. And a lot of fans are mad, especially the Alexa fans, are mad that the tower in Polis has been crushed and knocked to the ground. And they're mad, saying it's the end of Lexa's legacy. Now, I'm calling BS on that, and if you are mad about that, then I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. Because that tower would have come down if Lexa was alive or not. That the Prime Fire would have destroyed the tower no matter what. Lexa couldn't say that she's not Superman. That tower would have come down no matter what. So if you're mad about that, then tough. But I really love the pictures of Polis and of course Arcadia. I love the Arcadia picture as well. I love how it shows like the bones from Jasper and his people there. And I just love those pictures. I love how it looks so post-apocalyptic. I think they're like some of my favorite opening scenes I've seen from a trailer in a really, really long time. So then we got Clark standing over this mountain range, looking down at the Green Valley, and she mentions how now after 2 months she's starting to finally feel alone in the world pretty much. And then we have her mention at this point Monty Price got the allergy farm up and running, and you got a scene of them all standing around the table. Looks like they're kind of like giving a toast maybe, and I know a lot of people are saying we're missing Murphy from this photo, but I think he's probably there. It could just be that he's just not in this point of view shot, or just, I don't know, he might not be there, but I think he probably is. Just maybe the view of this shot is taken from his point of view. And then we go back down to the ground, and we have her mention that have Raven hit for the Green Valley. And I love this scene where they have her hand brushing over all the flowers. I love it. I think it's such a beautiful scene, and I love how they're bringing in this Green Valley and making it a big object and big point of the story for Season 5. So I really like what they're doing with that. And then we get this scene of Clark and Monty and Maddie by the fire, and Maddie saying that she's sorry she's not with her friends, and then you got Clark saying, I'm okay with it because I got to meet you and I'm here with you to take care of you. So I really like that. I thought that was very cute. I love that scene, especially with the scenes of her going through her notebook with the drawings. I really like that. And then we go back into space, and we got the crew, and they see the Ellis Corp ship pass by the Arc Ring, and Murphy's telling Bellamy to light up the ring so that the Ellis Corp can know they're there. But of course, Bellamy, wanting to play it safe, tells him, no, we're going to wait, see what they are like, and then if they seem like good people, we'll light up the ring and then let them know that we're there. So I really like what they're doing already, setting up these characters, setting up certain important parts of the story. Some fans, I think, were a little bit too much information, but I think what we got is decent and good. Enough that it's not giving away too much of what's going to be happening in Season 5. Next, we see the Ellis Corp ship land on Earth, and you got Clark seeing it through her rifle scope, which I really like that scene. And then you see some of the members coming out of the ship, and we meet the first two big main antagonists probably for the season. The female leader, I think her name is like Charlene or something, and then Zeke, and they're talking about how you go to war with the army you have, not the army you want. And I really like that scene, and I really like how they're making a female antagonist finally. I know some people might say Queen Nyla was the first female antagonist, but she didn't really do much. She was only there for a couple episodes and didn't do much. And then you got Luna, but she didn't do much. She was only there for here and there moments. But I really like what they're doing, and I feel like this character Zeke could be a character that kind of sides of Clark and her crew. So I really like what they're doing there. And I'm already really loving these new antagonists. They look really cool, and they definitely look like they're going to be a challenge for our heroes to stop and defeat or join forces with eventually, depending on where the story goes. And then we got Clark and Maddie talking, and they're talking about how we can't let them take our home. And even though it's just two of them, they're probably going to start off the rebellion fighting against the two of them. And then we get this scene of what looks like a space shuttle heading for the Ark. And I think this is after they light up the rings and let the Ellis Corp know they're there. This Charlene character and her two lieutenants go aboard to check it out. And I think that's what this is hinting at, is they're going to the ring, see what they're about, check them out, and see if they're worth, saving or whatnot. And then you got Bellamy talking to Echo, and he's saying, we didn't let Clark die just so for us to make the same mistakes we did the first time. And I love that scene. I love how they're maybe going to do a whole thing about how we're going to learn from our mistakes. We're not going to do the same thing we did the last time. And I really love that scene. I think it definitely plays off to Bellamy learning from his mistakes and moving on forward from who he was when he first came to the ground. Alright, and then we got the bunker scenes where we finally get caught up with Octavia, and we see right away problems emerged from the bunker, and Octavia was questioning whether she is able to lead, and you got Jaha telling her you gotta make them follow you. You can't just have them follow you. You gotta make them follow you. And I know a lot of people hate Jaha, but I love him. He's probably one of my favorite characters. And then you got her going all crazy on a bunch of people, killing them and telling them how either you're united with the one crew or you're enemy to the entire crew. And I really like that. And then you get scenes of Indra and Kane. And I think what happens here in these scenes is that after what happened with the Sky People, there's probably a big argument thing happened. A lot of people maybe died. Craziness ensued, and I think that's what happened there. And even if you look at Kane, his beard is significantly shorter, and the color of it is whiter than it is in later scenes in the trailer. So I think this was a flashback to what happened in the early days in the bunker, and just showing how Octavia came to power and who she became after becoming the leader of the bunker crew. And then you got a scene where Clark is running from these new prison antagonists, and they surround her, and she and Maddie are most likely on the ground. Then you see Raven and her group in the shuttle. I think this is probably them returning to Earth. Maybe they steal some of the fuel from the Ellis Corp or trade it, and that's how they get back to ground. And you got Raven telling them, I'm going to find a way to get you back to the ground. And I think this might be something, I'm 50-50. I can't remember if we see Raven on the ground or not. But if maybe she sacrifices herself and stays on the ring and does something similar to Jaha, I really think they should do something like that. I don't know if we see Raven on the ground or not, but I think they should and could do that. And then you got Raven kind of laying down. I can't tell if she's bound or not. It looks like she might be, but I really like that idea of having Raven staying behind. And instead of having her return to the Earth, if she does stay behind, make her actually stay there and maybe just kind of, I know I hate saying the word, but commit suicide, knowing she won't be able to get back down to Earth. Do that. Don't make it where she comes back down to Earth like Jaha, because it makes her sacrifice so weak if she just comes back to Earth later. I feel like they should if she stays in space, have her sacrifice herself for the good of the group. I think that'd be a great way for her to go out. That's the end of her mission. She gets her people back to the ground, but ends up sacrificing her own life to make sure everybody else survives. I love how that would end up her story and kind of bring her full circle in the world of the 100. Then we got back to the ground, and we got Charlene, I'm going to go over as her name, and her lieutenants have raided Clark and Maddie's home, and they're going through their things. And one of the scenes I think is the worst scene of the trailer is the scene where Clark has his shock collar on and is being shocked by one of the lieutenants. and it just looks so ridiculous. I don't know if it's Eliza Tyler's acting, but just the scene alone is horrible. I'm gonna go if it's her acting. I just think the acting of her being shocked by the collar just looks so horrible. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you like that scene, or do you think, or are you with me and it looks ridiculous? So then we got Octavia and the bunker group leaving the bunker, and I love the scene of the bunker soldiers marching out and heading to the valley, and you see their masks protecting them probably from radiation, and you got Octavia telling her probably most trusted advisors that if this is the last survivable place, then it's going to be ours. Now this is something I'm very excited to see play out, because this is going to be a different type of war. The Grounders versus the 100 was probably easier, because because it was probably a little bit equal, because the Grounders were, warriors, and then you got these 100 kids who are new and don't know what they're doing. But now we got this Ellis Corp people, and these are hardened criminals. These are different from the 100. These are going to be people probably with strategy, who think things through, probably have are on a different level basically than the 100. So this is probably going to be a different kind of battle. I'm really hoping for something like the Walking Dead's All Out War, and I'm just hoping for a bloodbath, maybe get some of our favorites dying, like Murphy and Octavia, maybe Raven. I really hope we get a couple big character deaths this season. I think we are badly in need of it. Let me know what you think. Who you think might die? Who might not make it to the next season? If we get a season 6, I have a bad feeling that we might not get a season 6, but that's a discussion for another video. But leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Who do you think will make it out of this battle this season? Next, we got what I think is a group of Ellis Corp people in cryogenic sleep, and I think what ends up happening is Charlene and a couple of her lieutenants bring Echo, Bellamy, and maybe a few more onto their ship, and Echo finds out that they have more people than they were led to believe, and they believe that these people could be a threat. And as you can see, I think it's Bellamy ends up fighting and killing one of them, and I think what ends up happening is after they kind of make enemies with the Ellis Corp, and the Ellis Corp sends them back to the Ark Ring. But in the process, I'm going to guess is one of the members of the Ark steals fuel from the Ellis Corp ship and uses it to power up the rocket so they can get back to the ground. And that's my guess. And they kind of go back to the ground, because they're now enemies. They want to go help Clark and Octavia fight off the Ellis Corp. I think this probably takes place after the 6-year time jump. And that's how my guess is how they're going to get back to the ground. I think it has something to do with the Ellis Corp. Maybe one of them steals fuel. But let me know what you think will happen and how you think they'll get back to the ground in the comment section down below. And then we got this scene of this Grounder screaming to get something out of him. I guess there's something in his stomach, and it's driving him crazy. Now, I really hope they don't do something where it's like the Alien, where something comes out of his stomach, or I don't know if there's just an alien in him. I really hope it's something a little bit more smart than just that. Maybe when you see those hospital shows where it'll have something in them. I really hope it's something like that. I really hope it's not something extraterrestrial. And then you got Monty here, and he's talking about how if this is the last survival land that we need to fight for, maybe we don't deserve it. And I really like that. Yes, they probably will fight for it anyway, as they all seen in the trailer. I really like how Monty is still keeping on and holding on to his morals of maybe we don't have to fight everybody to get what we want. I really like that. I think that's such a great thing to keep, especially with the character of Monty. I love that. And I can't wait to see him and Harper in this coming up season. Even though I hate ships and shipping characters, they're probably my 2 favorite couples next to Abby and Kane on this show. Alright guys, that's my 100 Season 5 trailer breakdown video part 1. Stay tuned, part 2 will be up very soon. And if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and share it. And you can go follow me on Twitter at Blind Entertainment TV. This has been Vision with Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.